we will begin the service.
So we know how it begins. It's okay. We'll get the words up in a second, but we begin with the words of Hine Matov. Hine Matov Umanaim Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. Hine Matov Umanaim Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. How good it is, how sweet it is to be together on this day. How good it is, how sweet it is to be together on this day. Hine matov umanaim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov umanaim shevet achim gam yachad. How good it is, how sweet it is to be together on this day. How good it is, how sweet it is to be together on this day. Hine matov umanaim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov umanaim shevet achim gam yachad.
We're going to now continue Shabbat with the lighting of candles. We're going to bring in the light, bring in the warmth, bring in the glow of Shabbat, and this very special Shabbat, which I know for many of us has included some time together with family and friends as we sort of re-engage and reconnect with those that we love during this time of gratitude. O source of light and truth, creator of the eternal law of goodness, help us to find knowledge by which to live. Lead us to take the words we shall speak into our hearts and our lives. Bless all who enter the sanctuary in need, all who bring the offerings of their hearts. May our worship lead us to acts of kindness, peace, and love. And so we're going to light the candles. And if you have candles at home, please, you can join in the lighting.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu להדליק נר של שבת.
Now we'll continue with Kiddush. The seventh day is consecrated to the eternal our God. With wine, our symbol of joy, we celebrate this day and its holiness. We give thanks for all of our blessings, for life and health, for work and rest, for home and love and friendship. On Shabbat, eternal sign of creation, we remember that we are created in the divine image. We therefore raise the cup in thanksgiving.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kodsho be'ahava uv'ratzon hinchilanu, zikaron lema'aseh v'reishit, ki hu yom techila lemikra'e kodesh, zecher letziat mitzrayim, kivanu v'acharta, ve'otanu kidashta, mikol hamim, v'shabbat kodshecha, ve'ahava uv'ratzon, inchaltanu, baruch atah Adonai, mekadesh hashabbat. Amen. L'chaim.
L'chaim. We're going to continue now with this opening inspiration. Even though we are muted, I do ask that you read responsively with me. There are days when we seek things for ourselves and measure failure by what we do not gain.
On Shabbat, we seek not to acquire, but to share.
There are days when we exploit nature as if it were a horn of plenty that can never be exhausted.
On Shabbat, we stand in wonder before the mystery of creation.
There are days when we act as if we cared nothing for the rights of others.
On Shabbat, we remember that justice is our duty and a better world our goal.
So we embrace Shabbat, a day of rest, a day of wonder, and a day of peace. Let's continue with Lecha Dodi.
Yadadadadai lecha dodi, yadadadadai likrat kala, yadadadadai p'nei Shabbat nekabela, shamor v'zachor, v'dibor echad, hishmianu el hamiyuchad, Adonai echad, u'shemo echad, l'shem multiferet, velitila, yalalai, yalalalai lecha dodi, yalalalai likrat kala, yalalalai p'nei Shabbat, p'nei Shabbat nekabela, likrat Shabbat, lechu v'nelcha, ki mekor haberacha, merosh mikedem nesucha, sof ma'aseh b'machshava tefila, yalalai, yalalalai lecha dodi, yalalalai likrat kala, yalalalai p'nei Shabbat nekabela. Hitoreri, kiva orech, kumi ori, Uri, Uri, Shir Daberi, Kevod Adonai, Alayich Nigla, Yai, Yalalalai Lechadodi, Yalalalai Likrat Kala, Yalalalai Pene Shabbat, Pene Shabbat Nekabela, Boi Vishalom, Ateret Bala, Gam Besimcha, Uvtsohola, Tochemune, Am Segula, Boi Chala, Boi Chala, Yai, Yalalalai Lechadodi, Yalalalai Likrat Kala, Yalalalai Pene Shabbat, Nekabela.
Teach me, O God, a blessing, a prayer on the mystery of a withered leaf, unripened fruit so fair, to breathe, to know, to hope, to despair. Teach my lips a blessing, a hymn of praise, as each morning and night you renew your days. Lest my day be today as the one before, lest routine set my ways. We now continue with the Baruch Hu, our call to worship.
Yada da da da, 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 yada da da da. Am I awake? Am I prepared? Are you listening to my prayer? Can you hear my voice? Can you understand? Am I awake? Am I prepared? Baruch hu et Adonai hamevorach. Baruch Adonai hamevorach. Leolam vaed. Leolam vaed. Yada da da da, 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 yada da da da. Roll into dark, roll into light. Night becomes day, day turns to night. Roll into dark, roll into light. Night becomes day, day turns to night. Borei yom v'layla. Golel or mipnei choshech, Golel or mipnei choshech, Vechoshech mipnei or. Roll into dark, roll into light. Night becomes day, day turns to night. Roll into dark, roll into night, night becomes day, day turns to night. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto, Leolam Vaed. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha bechol levavcha uvchol nafshecha uvchol meodecha ve'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha Vishinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam v'shiftecha b'veitecha uvlechtecha v'derech uv'shochbecha uv'kumecha u'kshartam leot al yadecha v'hayu litotafot beineinecha uchtavtam al mezuzot beitecha uv'isharecha Lema'an tizkeru va'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'yitem kedoshim lelohechem. Ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim liot lachem lelohim. Ani Adonai Elohechem.
Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands, marching together.
Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu leShalom, Vehamidenu Shomreinu leChaim. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu leShalom, Vehamidenu Shomreinu leChaim. Ushmor tzeitenu uvoenu lechaim u'shalom me'ata ve'ad olam. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu leShalom, Vehamidenu Shomreinu leChaim. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu leShalom, Vehamidenu Shomreinu leChaim. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu leShalom, Vehamidenu Shomreinu leChaim. Vehamidenu Shomreinu leChaim.
Veshamru v'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat la'asot et HaShabbat lidorotam berit olam. Veshamru v'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat la'asot et HaShabbat lidorotam berit olam. Beni uvein b'nei Yisrael oti le'olam. Veshamru v'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat la'asot et HaShabbat lidorotam berit olam. Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai et hashamayim ve'et haaretz. Veshamru v'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat la'asot et HaShabbat lidorotam berit olam. Uvayom hashvi shavat vayinafash, shavat vayinafash, shavat vayinafash. Veshamru v'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat la'asot et HaShabbat lidorotam berit olam.
Prayer invites God's presence to fuse our spirits, God's will to prevail in our lives. Prayer may not bring water to parched fields, nor mend a broken bridge, nor rebuild a ruined city. But prayer can water an arid soul, mend a broken heart, rebuild a weakened will. Let's continue now with the Amidah HaTefilah.
Adonai sifatai tiftach Ufi yagi tehilatecha. Adonai, open my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, ve'Elohei avotenu ve'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, ve'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, ve'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'konei hakol, v'zocher chastei avot be'imahot, u'mevii geula livnei v'neihem, le'ma'an shemo be'ahava, melech ozer u'moshia u'magen, Baruch atah Adonai, magen Avraham ve'ezrat Sarah, atah gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechayei hakol atah rav lehoshia, Mashiv haruach umorid hagashem, Mechalkel chayim bechesed, Mechayei hakol berachamim rabim, Somech noflim verofei cholim, Umatir asurim, Umekayem emunato, Lishenei afar, Michamocha ba'al gevurot, Umido melach, Melech memit umechaye, umatzmiach Yeshua, v'ne'eman atal hachayot hakol, Baruch atah Adonai, mechaye hakol, atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, u'kadoshim b'chol yom yahalelucha selah, Baruch atah Adonai, ha'el hakadosh.
Ever-present one, may we, your people Israel, be worthy in our deeds and our prayer. Wherever we live, wherever we seek you, in this land, in Zion restored, in all lands, you are our God whom alone we serve in reverence. Baruch atah Adonai, she'otcha levadcha be'ira na'avod. We're now going to continue with another wonderful video that we have shared a while back, but it's really fitting for this season. It's grateful. It's a really beautiful piece that really speaks about how much we need to appreciate, the things that we enjoy in our lives, the blessings that we have in our lives. It's a really fantastic thing. So as we're going to be playing this video, you can certainly please feel free as it's going on, as it ends, to maybe type in a couple of things that you're grateful for during this season of Thanksgiving.
I've got a roof over my head. I've got a warm place to sleep. Some nights I lie awake counting gifts instead of counting sheep. I've got a heart that can hold love. I've got a mind that can think. There may be times when I lose the light and let my spirit sink, but I can't stay depressed when I remember how I'm blessed. Grateful, grateful, truly grateful I am. Grateful, grateful, truly blessed and duly grateful. in a city of strangers. I've got a family of friends. No matter what rocks and brambles fill the way, I know they will stay until the end. I feel a hand holding my hand. It's not a hand you can see, but on the road to the promised land, this hand will shepherd me through delight and despair, holding tight and always there. Modim, modim, modim anachnu lach. Grateful, grateful, truly blessed and duly grateful. It's not that I don't want a lot, or hope for more, or dream of more, but giving thanks for what I've got makes me so much happier than keeping score in a world that can bring pain. I will still take each chance, for I believe that whatever the terrain, our feet can learn to dance. Whatever stone life may sling, we can moan or we can sing. Grateful, grateful, truly grateful I am. Grateful, grateful, truly blessed and duly grateful. Truly blessed and duly grateful.
Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki atahu melech adon lechol hashalom. Ki atahu melech adon lechol hashalom. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. V'tov be'einecha levarech et Amcha Yisrael b'chol עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. Tasim leolam.
Let's continue with a moment of silent prayer and reflection. Our thoughts turn to our loved ones, members of our community who are in need of healing. Whether they are in need of physical, mental, or spiritual healing, we take them into our hearts this time of prayer. As we continue with our Misha Berach, if you have someone you'd like to mention that you're thinking of at this time of healing, please enter their names in the chat box and we'll lift up their names in prayer.
Misha Berach Avotenu Mekor HaBracha Li'imotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen.
We are thinking of at this time and wishing a refuah shlema to Eric Adler, David Altner, Sydney Altner, Joe Brickman, Evan Bin, Laura Carlos, Richard Corwin, Mark Edelstein, Mickey Edelstein, Benjamin Edelstein, and Brian Edelstein, Danielle Heyman Feist, Eric Fisk, Sam Friedman, Albert Gart, Bob Gold, Barbara Green and Buddy Green, Vicky Hano, Harriet Kaplan, Laurie Kalaman, Hank Cornyn, Wendy Sugarman Krosnoff, Dr. Sonia Linke, Michael Lynch, Elsa Mikosh, Dolores Munsick, Ruth Poehler, Jane Rifkin and Jess Rifkin, Don Rollander, Lisa Schick, Jane Solomon, Stuart Solomon, Dr. Cindy Steinman, Pete Tanner, Fred Truex, Michael Verb, and Janet White.
Misheberach imotenu mekor habracha lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shelema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
Amen. Time for some words of Torah, a little of our Torah this evening. As we are still digesting our turkey and our leftovers, it's time to digest some words of Torah this evening. We have a really fun Torah portion. We're going to sort of touch upon the beginning of it, sort of the beginning of the Joseph narrative. So we're at that time where Joseph is going to sort of take the forefront as our lead character. Joseph has a pretty rough time in the beginning. Him and his brothers, surprise, surprise, don't get along too well. It's sort of a common trope in Genesis that our brothers are not exactly best buddies during Genesis. There's a lot of infighting, a lot of problems, and Joseph's brothers are a little bit miffed at him as we go through this week's Torah portion. And it isn't very hard to see why the brothers have a little bit of an axe to grind. And so we see Joseph first, a little bit of a tattletale. We see this is the line of Jacob at 17 years of age. Joseph tended the flocks with his brothers as a helper to the sons of his father's wives, Bilhah and Zilpah. And Joseph brought bad reports of them to their father. Ooh. Jacob getting the bad reports from Joseph. Joseph, a little bit of a gossip, a little bit of a tattletale. Whenever he sees his brothers doing something wrong, hey, Dad, you know what they're doing? You know, it's not a good time, right? It's a little bit of an annoying younger brother situation. So that's not great. Dad doesn't help, though, right? Because Israel loves Joseph for the best of all of his sons. For he was the child of his old age, and he made for him an ornamented tunic, or as we see, the amazing Technicolor dream coat. You know, so our coat of many colors, where we're going to put it. When his brothers saw that their father loved him more than any of his brothers, they hated him so much they could not speak a friendly word to him. So first we have Joseph the tattletale. Now we have Joseph as daddy's boy, the favorite, the one who gets the special treats, the special clothes, the really cool getup. Brothers not happy, right? So we're 0 for 2. And then we have one more problem, of course, Joseph the dreamer. Once Joseph had a dream in which he told to his brothers, and they hated him even more. He said to them, "Hear the dream that I have dreamed. There we were binding sheaves in the field when suddenly my sheaf stood up and remained upright, and your sheaves gathered around and bowed low to my sheaf." His brothers answered, "Do you mean to reign over us? Do you mean to rule over us?" And they hated him even more for his talk about dreams. So now Joseph's irritating them on another level, sort of being a little bit of a braggart, a little bit, maybe a little bit egotistical about sharing sort of these dreams that seem to proclaim him to be superior to his brothers. We're going to see a common theme in this Torah portion is dreams, and throughout the Joseph narrative. So we're going to have the cupbearer and the baker, they're going to have dreams, and then Pharaoh's going to have a dream sort of next week. So you might say that Joseph is a dreamer, but he is not the only one. Then we have here, because of the dreaming and the tattletaling and the coat of many colors, we have all this stuff going on. The brothers are not amused. And so as opposed to, other methods, perhaps, of chastising their brother. They take it a little bit to an extreme. They said to one another, "Here comes that dreamer. Come now, let us kill him and throw him into one of these pits. And we can say a savage beast devoured him. We shall see what comes of his dreams. Ho, ho, ho." But when Reuben heard it, Reuben, of course, the oldest of the brothers, Reuben heard it. He tried to save him from them. He said, "Let's not take his life." Reuben went on, "Let's not shed any blood. Cast him into that pit out in the wilderness, but do not touch him yourselves," intending to save him from them and restore him to his father. When Joseph came up to his brothers, they stripped Joseph of his tunic, that ornamented tunic that he was wearing. He loves the threads. And they took him and they cast him into the pit. Now the pit was empty. There was no water in it. So here you see Reuben, he's trying to intervene a little bit. Again, he's the eldest, right? He is the oldest brother. And so while the other ones are getting a little bit of agita here, they're getting all riled up. They want to kill him. Reuben sort of thinks cooler heads should prevail. Let's not kill him. Let's throw him in the pit. That'll teach him a lesson. And then Reuben himself thinking, you know what? When the brothers turn around for a few minutes, I'll get Joseph out of the pit. We'll go home. We'll have a little bit of falafel. It'll all be okay. It'll be all right. While his brothers are still a little bit angry, a little bit upset. So Reuben has a plan, right? He has an idea here of a way to sort of appease his brothers, perhaps, give Joseph a little bit of trouble. But he himself, Reuben, thinks, you know what? I'll help him out in the end. I'll drag him up from the pit. It'll all be kosher. It'll all be fine. Well, it doesn't turn out that way. So they sit down for a meal. The brothers sort of sit down, have a little snack, some leftover turkey, some cranberry sauce. And then they look up and they see a caravan of Ishmaelites coming from Gilead, their camels bearing gum, balm, and ladanum to be taken to Egypt. Then Judah said to his brothers, "What's ladanum?" No, what he said to the brothers was, "What do we gain by killing our brother and covering up his blood? Come, let us sell him to the Ishmaelites, but let us not do away with him ourselves. After all, he is our brother, our own flesh. Selling him into slavery is okay. Killing him is a step too far." The brothers agreed. When the Midianite traders passed by, they pulled Joseph up out of the pit. They sold Joseph for 20 pieces of silver to the Ishmaelites, who brought Joseph to Egypt. When Reuben returned to the pit, they saw that Joseph was not in the pit. He rent his clothes. Returning to his brothers, he said, "The boy is gone. Now what am I to do?" This leads us to a question. Where in the heck was Reuben? Where did he go? He was there a minute ago. He was there telling his brothers, not to kill him, and to just put him into the pit. And then it says he sat down to a meal, but I guess they didn't include Reuben. Maybe Reuben had errands to run. Reuben's gone, right? Because Reuben returns in the bold, right? When Reuben returned to the pit and so that Joseph wasn't there, he's surprised. What's going on? What's happening here? What did he have to do? You would think this is sort of important that he'd stick around, but he decided instead to run a couple errands to go out and do something different. So the rabbis have absolutely no idea where he is because he just sort of leaves. He goes off stage left to return to this scene. And so Rashi, a biblical commentator, he says that Reuben returns. When Joseph was sold, he had not been present. Reuben wasn't around because it was his day to go to attend to his father. So he needed to go and take care of Jacob that day. And so he sort of left. He said, "Hey, it's my turn to watch Dad. Dad's not getting any younger. He's not getting any younger in years. He needs someone to hang out with. I'm going to go and tend to him." So that's great. That's the PG answer. There's actually an R-rated answer to this as well. But for that, you're going to have to read Rashi yourselves. I'm not going to dive into that on this Shabbat. But there is another explanation of where he possibly went. But so that's where he is. So we got a problem here. And I'm going to call it the perils of procrastination. Because Reuben, in that moment, he could have saved Joseph right then and there. Hey guys, let's not throw him into a pit. Let's not kill him at all. Let's take our brother. let's bring him home. You know, we can work this stuff out. We can handle this later at a different time, or maybe in a different way. But Reuben said, instead of doing that, went, you know what? I'll get to it later. I'll catch up with him later. He'll be fine for a little while. I'm going to go watch a movie. You know, I'm going to go do something else. I'm going to play a little football in the backyard. Whatever he's going to do, it's not saving Joseph, right? He's decided to do something else entirely different. Maybe, just maybe, it would have been better if he didn't procrastinate. And so the good Rebbe, Rebbe Nachman of Braslov, he has a commentary, and when in his commentary he says a person should not procrastinate from one day to the next, saying, "I'll start tomorrow. Tomorrow I'll pray more attentively with the right enthusiasm." And likewise, for a person's world consists only of the present day and moment. Tomorrow is a different world entirely. I love that teaching because I think that for a lot of us, sometimes it's easy to procrastinate, to put things off and say, I'll get to it tomorrow. I'll do it later. You know, maybe not right now. I'm too stuffed from dinner, you know, I had to do other things. Oh, I don't want to, you know, do this errand. I don't want to take care of this car. I don't want to take care of the lawn. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. Instead of put it off. And then there's a problem eventually. And the rabbis sort of take this a little bit further and talk about mitzvot, right? Talk about the commandments and say, sometimes we think we're going to do this good deed, right? We're going to go volunteer at the soup kitchen tomorrow. We're going to make a donation to our favorite organization tomorrow. We're going to attend more services. We're going to study a little bit more. We're going to, when we have free time, we'll do it later. And you know what? Later never comes. And so the rabbis say, stop saying later. Stop saying tomorrow. Today is the day that we have. Don't ever put off a mitzvah, a good deed, a commandment, and say we'll get to it later, because who knows what tomorrow might bring. So that is one interpretation, of Reuben here and the perils of procrastination. But there's one more, sort of the last little piece I wanted to share with you tonight, because I really think it is a beautiful teaching, that it's not so much about procrastination, but it's about self-confidence, right? It's about giving 100% of yourself to your given task. And so there's a teaching, from a midrash, from a rabbinic interpretation, from Rabbi Isaac. He says, when a person does a mitzvah, they should do it with their whole heart, right? They should do it with their full intention. And so here, in the case of Reuben, it's like, yeah, he sort of tried to give his brothers an out. He tried to finagle. He tried to sort of be gentle, sort of soft pedal what he was planning to do, instead of being firm and saying, look, guys, this is wrong. This is a bad idea. I don't like it. We shouldn't be doing this to our brother. We have to do something different. We have to have a different plan. He didn't do that. Instead, he sort of did it softly, gently, sort of like tried to massage the sides when he sort of needed to do something a little bit more active, a little bit more determined in his efforts. And Rabbi Yerucham Leibovitz, he follows up and says, we have to all remember that in everything we do, there's eternity, right? There's eternity in every action, however seemingly minor. The whole of Torah testifies to and teaches this foundation, the enormous significance of even one action. Reuben could have saved the day, right? He could have been the hero of the story, but instead, not so much. Instead, a little bit of a yutz. He doesn't get it done, right? He doesn't do his job. And so maybe if Reuben had a little bit more of that self-confidence, a little bit more of that passion, that determination, that belief in himself, then maybe he could have stood up a little taller. He could have been, he is the firstborn, right? Maybe he could have had a little bit more of an impact if he went about it a different way. And it's like us as well. Every action we take, according to this idea, has value, has meaning, that we have more power than we realize, with Rabbi Chaim here on the bottom, saying that sometimes we don't understand that. We lack faith. We lack a consciousness of our full range of our currently latent, hidden capabilities, that we have so much within us, so much spirit, so much energy, so much wisdom, so much passion, and it's that has to come out of us. It is that we need to exude and put out into the world. We have to believe in ourselves and believe in our power to change the world, because we all have that power. We all have that ability to go out there today, tomorrow, to go out and make a difference. And what a beautiful teaching that is. Reuben maybe missed his chance. Reuben didn't get it done. But that's, that's his issue. For us, it's a little bit different. For us, we can do that. For us, we can change the world through our actions. We can make a difference. We can create meaning and significance in our world each and every day. What a lovely idea, a lovely gift, a lovely blessing. May it be so for all of us as we go forward in our lives. Shabbat Shalom, everybody. We're going to now continue with Aleinu.
Aleinu l'shabeach la'adon hakol, la'tekedu la'liotzer bereshit, shelo asanu kegoye ha'aratzot, velo samanu kemishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkenu kahem, vegor aleinu kechol hamonam. V'anachnu kore'im umishtachavim umodim, lifnei melech malchei hamlachim, hakadosh baruch hu. V'ne'emar v'haya Adonai lemelech al kol haaretz bayom hahu yeh Adonai echad u'shemo echad.
Our thoughts turn to those who have departed this earth, our own loved ones, those whom our friends and neighbors have lost, the martyrs of our people whose graves are unmarked, and those of every race and nation whose lives have been a blessing to humanity. As we remember them, let us meditate on the meaning of love and loss, of life and death. We recall the loved ones whom death has recently taken from us. We are observing the Shiva period for the memory of Joan Keller, mother of Allison, Mitchell, and Matthew and Jen, and their partners Artie, Helene, and Sloan, as well as we're thinking of Joan's 10 grandchildren as well. And of course, the Temple B'nai Israel community. Joan was a member of our synagogue for many, many years. Really a wonderful person. So we all send our condolences to her family at this time of grief. We are also in the Shiva period for the memory of Lee Weintraub, a husband of Ruth and father of Dr. Alvin Weintraub, Michael Richards, and Philip Robinson. He was also the grandfather to 6 grandchildren, and we know Lee had also a lot of friends in our community, especially Ray and Rachel Sepko, who are on, I believe, the Zoom this evening. So we send our condolences out to all of Lee's friends during this time of grief, family and friends. We're in the Shloshim period for the memory of Dr. Brian Rothlein, a special friend to Sharon and Brett Finkelstein, and Sid Bolin, the father of Steffi Rosenbaum, her husband Ronald. We have Carol Pick, husband Pablo, Howard Bolin, wife Donna. He was also a grandfather to Alex Sandler, spouse Ethan, and also Sid had many other grandchildren and great-grandchildren as well. We also think of those who died during this last year. We're observing, we're recalling the memories of Deborah Nader, Ted Ross, Helen Roth, Ruth Jean Oberlander, Mark Enfinger, Alan Beer, Judy Guy Strickland, Carolee Pizzuti, Elaine Miller, Ethan Perry, Judy Fine, Beverly Rosen, Adele Daniels, Robert Pizzuti, Lily Singer, Shelley Foreman, Myron Pulfrey, Robert Sheldon, Beatty Rosenbaum Madnick, Shirley Botkin, Jack Moss, and Linda Fine. We're also observing the yurt sites this week, those who have died at the season in years past. Francis Alexander, Estelle Biard, Leatrice Schultz Bronson, David Clausen, Shirley Dabowski, Leon Eichel, Bernard R. Feldman, Vita Felmus, Marion Goldman, Maxine Gumpertz, Harry I. Horowitz, Lori Kelly, Mrs. Sonia Kornbluth, Kornbilt, Philip Kunkus, William C. Lakoff, Richard Joel Lapidus, Louis Lederer, Samuel Lesser, Lillian Lewis, Molly Linden, Rena Fuchs Mansfeld, James E. Mesnick Sr., Jenny Myers, Ruth C. Pollock, Jean Potiker, Beatrice Pryor, Alfred Whitner, Leonard Rauch, Ada Rifkin, Edna Saphir, Mary Shaheen, Michelle Shallett, Shirley Schumann, Nathan M. Silverman, Sylvia C. Silverman, Israel Waldman, Fanny Warshaw, Rita Wasserman, Sylvia Werner, Anna Wittis, and Alex Witt. If anyone else is observing a yurt site saying Kaddish for any reason, you please enter their names in the chat box. The memories of all of them are with us. Our griefs and sympathies are mingled as we praise God's name and affirm the holiness of memory. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shmei Rabbah be'alma divra cherutei v'yamlich malchutei b'chayechon uvyomechon uvchaye dechol beit Yisrael ba'gala ubizman kariv v'imru. Amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam olal me'al maya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei kudusha b'richu ve'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tush b'chata v'nechemata da'amiran v'yama v'imru. Amen. Yehei shlama Rabbah min shemaya v'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'al kol yoshvei tevel, v'imru. Amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us, to Israel, and all who mourn here and around the world. As together we say, Amen. We have a couple of announcements this evening. December 5th is the Magic of TBI fundraiser. Promises also to be a fundraiser. This event will be in person as well as virtual. For those who come in person, there'll be delicious food catered by our own brotherhood, an open bar, lots of wonderful auction items and silent auction items to bid on. And of course, we're going to have our magician come in, Nathan Coe-Marsh, who is a spectacular magician, I hear. And so it's going to be a lot of fun to sort of see him do his thing. So you can go to the website to purchase tickets as they are still available. It's going to be a really fun evening. So that's December 5th, the Magic of TBI. December 1st at 7 p.m., join the cantor and fellow congregants for the second Open Tent, Open Mind book club. The book being read is Concealed by Esther Amini. So that should be a lot of fun, a great read for those who can attend. That would be lovely. Next Friday, December 3rd, will be our special Hanukkah Shabbat service, as well as an opportunity to share in the confirmation of our 12 students and their families. Our 10th to 12th graders are working and studying really hard. We're going to have a really lovely service, and we're also going to have our communal menorah lighting. So bring your menorah, bring your candles. We're going to have a very delightful evening, and there'll be a really nice oneg to follow. Service will be in the sanctuary and streamed as usual. We also have our rummage sale. That's going to be on Thursday, December 9th, and then it's going to be open Friday, the 10th, and then Sunday, December 12th. We're going to look, continuing to look, I should say, for volunteers to help with many different things. Renee Ramey, who is on today. Hey, Renee. How you doing? Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on with the rummage sale, so I'm sure Renee could use a little help. You want to give her a shout out? That would be lovely. It's going to be a fantastic event. Lots of, again, good things are being brought in. So, yeah, give Renee a call, an email, a text. Send her a carrier pigeon. She'd be very happy to have you help in any way possible. December 7th, We also have our Rosh Chodesh group. The Cantor is going to lead us in our Rosh Chodesh commemoration and teaching. That's going to be at 11 a.m. So we are commemorating the new month with our study, and our biblical figure this time around will be Dinah. So you can learn more about the story of Dinah on December 7th at 11 a.m. And last but not least, we have the Rabbi Daniel Treiser Memorial Poker Tournament. That's going to be Saturday, January 29th. Doors open at 6 p.m. and first shuffle at 6:45. Second shuffle will be, I guess, at 6:50. I'm not sure how long it takes to shuffle the cards, but we will definitely shuffle. But if you want to learn how to actually play Texas Hold'em, you can watch your emails. The Brotherhood will be sending out some information on how to play, but perhaps how to play not so well so they can win the tournament. But I'm sure they're going to give you some good teachings on how to play a little poker. The guys love it when I play because I lose pretty quick. And so it's definitely a good thing to do, a lot of fun. I think that's all I have for now, my friends, vis-a-vis announcements. So let's sing it out, Cantor.
Let's see. I know I'm gonna see the Goldbergs Oneg. What do you got tonight? It's a cookie. Who else has a cookie? Show me a cookie. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom.
It was such a pleasure to pray with you this evening. I want to give a little special shout out to Mark Bragan, who's with us. Had a Friday night off, and he gets to come and to see us. Mark, you want to unmute and say hi?
Hi, Shabbat Shalom, everybody.
Shabbat Shalom. We can all unmute. We say Shabbat Shalom to each other.
Shabbat Shalom to all your puppies, Mark.
Shabbat Shalom. Good to
Shabbat
see you.
shalom.
Good to see you, Eric.
Shabbat
Oh yeah,
shalom.
there's Eric. Great to see you.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Hope everyone had a very
Really
happy
good.
Thanksgiving.
Oh, he went off.
Yeah,
There he
there
is.
he is again.
I'm
Looking
here.
good.
Hi, Renee.
Hi, Mark. I was waving at you.
How are
So
you?
glad
He's
to see
stopping
you.
his
It's
video
so nice
instead
to
of
see you.
stopping the mute.
Well, thank you. It is beard time, so I just stopped shaving.
Okay.
Good for you.
It's good for you, is right. Well, Shabbat Shalom, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
You can log us out.
Have a good night, everybody.